Welcome to the second map between Deadman and HoT. We are on Turtle Rock and it is close position once again. So I think we're 3 out of 4 in terms of close position so far on these finals. I think the only best of 3 in which the Turtle Rock game, which has been played in every best of 3 so far in these finals. The only one in which it hasn't been a close position was between Creo and DD8. But yeah, we're back to close position again. Altar first and Ancient of War here for HoT, who is this time the blue player. In the top right and in the top left it is Deadman, this time in pink. And he's doing the same thing. Altar, Moonwell, Ancient of War. So we're going to see both of them get the Demon Hunter, I'm pretty sure of that. And creep their green camp here with 1 Archer, 1 DH, and the Ancient of War. So, HoT, of course, is the one under pressure here, being down 1-0. And he is getting the DH, just like his opponent. And we'll see if he's gonna stick to the standard here, or if he's gonna go for something a little bit more unconventional, maybe to try and surprise his opponent. Of course, especially the players or in Group B, of course, had some time to prepare their Night Death Mirror and maybe to come up with some unique strategies. So, as I said, we'll see what both of the players are going to end up playing here. HoT pulling the creeps away just to delay Deadman here by a little bit. I think this pull may have been a little bit too early because the creeps will turn around right now and they will be back. Okay, not quite. So seems like this was about the right timing. HoT, on the other hand, starts creeping already. We'll see that he's going to be a little bit more quickly finished with that one. So you can see the DH of Deadman just starting the DH together with the rest of his army, just starting to creep now. And this is really taking a lot longer for him than it does for his opponent. HoT has already finished the camp. For him, the Slippers of Agility were the item, whereas for Deadman it is the Gauntlets of Ogre Strength. Same XP, of course, for both of them at the moment. Ring of Protection dropping here for HoT, so after the best item possible at the first camp, he's getting the worst possible at the second camp. And Deadman is going to deviate here from what his opponent is doing. He's gonna get aggressive, but the DH is right there. There is 1 Archer advantage, plus Moonwells, plus everything here for HoT, so nothing really to gain for Deadman, who's running away, mana burns being exchanged, and both players backing off. Of course, a little bit more Moonshoes used so far by HoT, so theoretically, you know, there could be the potential for some aggression on tier 2. Then again, HoT already has his 3rd Moonwell finished, whereas Deadman is just getting it right now, so HoT is going to regenerate a lot more during this phase, that night phase that is going on right now. And yeah, creep check occurs. Deadman has to fall back. HoT is falling back. Of course, with the close position, both of them staying on top of each other all the time. Not really a lot that can be done about it. HoT is going to pick up the dust. No boots for him, even though he would have the resources. Excuse me, 4 archers out against 3 only so far for HoT, who's getting another one as well. And both of them just trading blows with their Demon Hunters, but HoT, as you can see, he's got the way superior items, is definitely ahead here, trying to block, but the Demon Hunter is going around the right hand side of this little chunk of forest here, and therefore HoT isn't able to get the block in, but he's gonna get one of the archers killed. And now retreating. Can he block? Maybe, probably not. Yeah, HoT nicely making sure with his own archer that Deadman's archer doesn't get in his way. By the way, tech-wise, let's compare. Deadman almost done. HoT quite a bit behind. That's because he built his 3rd Moonwell before he started teching, going for a more safe approach, whereas Deadman went for the more tech-wise, the more greedy approach. Charge, 1 charge of dust used. Archer should survive though.
Your building is complete.
And HoT does get the shop. Ah, no, it's the second Ancient of War actually in the middle. So we'll see a lot of archers by him. No Hunter's Hall by either of the players. So we're not gonna see lores here. We'll see archers. We'll see probably, maybe Ancients of War. I'm guessing probably an Ancient of Wind on both sides to add a few talents. Naga second on both sides, and Deadman immediately gets his Demon Hunter surrounded. The Naga of HoT can easily escape here. Town Portal pulled by Deadman, who's gonna get one archer kill here on his way out. His archer survives barely. Second Ancient of War has been seen, so Deadman definitely knows what's coming. Ancient of Wonders now being built in the middle as well. And how is Deadman going to respond to that? He's getting the Hunter's Hall just now. What? That is... okay, this is very bizarre. I feel like even if he wanted to go bears in the first place, like if he realizes just now that he forgot it, why not change your plans and go for Archer's Talents? Because basically if that had been his plan in the first place, then he wouldn't have done anything wrong yet. HoT getting the shop, whereas Deadman is only getting his little orange camp. Ring of Regeneration for the DH. And here it was the Gloves of Haste for the DH of Deadman.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
Oh, Nature's Blessing being researched as well. So yeah, we're probably going to see some Ancient of War action eventually coming out of HoT. Who is scouted? Deadman creeping his shop now as well, which shouldn't come as a surprise to him at all. And HoT with, again, this time, of course, it's HoT. Last time it was the Blue Knight Death as well, but it was Deadman. HoT going for the red camp already as it appears. He's pulling the creeps with his archers. I feel like he can actually, he shouldn't actually pull them out too far in this situation, because he can just make use of the heal ward, of the Rune of Healing with his... with this kind of army to counter the Ogre-Lord's wave. And he could creep it a lot faster with that. But of course, like this, he's taking less of a risk and he's taking less damage as well. And another Ancient of War coming, number 3.
Our warriors have engaged the
and more wisps being pulled towards the middle. Scroll of the Beast for Deadman, who's also getting plenty of archers. And a first upgrade already. So he's actually not going for any kind of bears. He's just getting attack upgrade for the archers with that. Which is an uncommon investment that usually players are not willing to take. Getting the Hunter's Hall as well as the upgrade. Basically just for a little bit of additional damage. Of course he can add more upgrades eventually. But of course in return HoT has a way superior number of Ancients of War. He's got a bigger army. Hero wise he's ahead by a little bit as well. What did he find at the red camp? Well, whatever it was, he sold it. So couldn't have been too great. And Ancients of War are being uprooted. And HoT is marching towards Deadman's base, where there's not really a great load of defense. All of the Moonwares are empty. Fog Lightning by the Naga. Demon Hunter is marching in the front. He's of course going to have to tank the bulk of HoT's damage output right now. Scroll of the Beast used at maybe the perfect timing, but Wisps are around and this one is getting rid of almost the entire Scroll of the Beast immediately. Invo Potion used by HoT. Deadman is losing his Naga immediately despite having the staff on his Demon Hunter, so he didn't pay attention there. Fog Lightning and some good focus fire are getting rid of the Naga, and that means that Deadman has to fall back here immediately. And he's getting off to a pretty horrible start in this first mid-game engagement. In the meantime, Tree of Life being built by HoT in the top right corner. Level 3 on the DH in the meantime. Of course, HoT already had that before the fight even started. And yeah, he continues pushing on. Demon Hunter has to be careful already. He can go in with the potion, but he, as I said, with the Naga not being around, he's gonna have to be super careful. He's gonna have to tank the majority of the damage, but he's got no more protective items, so he cannot really afford doing so. The first of the two Ancients of War, after two Ancients of War has fallen. Another archer of Deadman is falling in return as well. The shop is being picked off very, very quickly, as you can see. And there's not really a lot of defenses remaining for Deadman, who is, with the way his base is constructed here, basically going to lose one Moonwell after another, more or less for free. How is he going to get in a good position here? That is the question. In here, right next to the Ancient of War of his opponent, is super awkward. To the back is a little bit awkward, because then HoT can pull back into his base, or into a Deadman's base, and every time Deadman retreats, he can just do more and more damage to Deadman's base. So yeah, getting into a good position here is very, very difficult for the Russian at the moment. HoT doing a minus 34 mana burn onto Deadman's Naga. The next mover is being picked off. The Demon Hunter is coming in again in a bad position. There's still the TP on HoT's Demon Hunter. He still has a heal scroll as well to keep himself in the fight for a little bit longer. No mana for Forked Lightning, obviously, for Deadman, and therefore no real threat for HoT's Demon Hunter to go down as long as he pays attention and doesn't send him back into the front of his battle. Now the heal scroll has been used. Ancient of War continues moving on. Still 50 supply for HoT against 38 for Deadman, who is supply blocked on top of it. The Naga is about to fall, as it appears his Demon Hunter is about to fall as well. It looks like he can save both of his heroes. Actually, the Naga of HoT is the first hero to fall here. And is Deadman even going to be able to force the town pod here? It looks like that's the case. The Demon Hunter is going to survive. No, he isn't, because not all of the archers of HoT are included in the town portal, and therefore the Demon Hunter of Deadman is falling. Down here, there's still a little force of Deadman fighting back, but it's not enough. He caused the GG, and HoT takes the game 1-1. I think basically two main factors decided here. Deadman got a lot worse creeping done in the mid game when after both of them got the Naga, and you know, had plenty of archers out, and basically did creep before the big fight started in the middle. And HoT got his shop while Deadman was still busy creeping his little orange camp. HoT got a red camp, which didn't drop anything great apparently, but it gave him the edge XP wise. Whereas Deadman, you know, afterwards got his shop, got the turtle camp in the middle. Of course, rather unfortunate item drop there as well, with the Scroll of the Beast, which was dispelled in like 2 seconds after being used. And secondly, I feel like the investment wasn't worth it. He had a smaller army, he had superior upgrades in return, but he had to deal with more archers and with these Ancients of War in the middle, which he wasn't able to. And third, which just, you know, came to mind again, was of course the start of that fight. He lost the Naga immediately. He had to pull back. He basically lost the fight in the middle. He got in a very awkward position right in front of his own base, and HoT was just able to fight way better from there, and therefore he's taking the second map. He ties the series, and we're gonna go into the deciding game on Secret Valley.